You are standing in a crowded, neon-lit city, holding a simple meal. Maybe it is a warm bagel on a brisk morning, or a soft burger bun from a corner diner. Look closely at the top of the bread. Sprinkled across the golden crust are tiny teardrop-shaped specks. Sesame. It is easy to brush them off, to ignore them as mere decoration, a quiet, unassuming garnish in the fast-paced modern world. But you are holding history. You are looking at a survivor. Long before the invention of refrigeration, before global supermarkets lined our streets, before the modern maps of the world were even drawn, this minuscule seed held the power of life and death. It was the physical currency of sprawling empires. It was the vital oil that illuminated the dark stone of ancient temples. It was a word of literal magic, Sesame, spoken in hushed tales of desert thieves and hidden treasures. To truly understand the modern world, you must look past the shining gold and the forged iron. You must trace the tangled roots of the things that actually kept humanity alive. Close your eyes. Let the roar of the city traffic fade into absolute silence. Let the modern concrete dissolve into deep, cracked earth and a burning sun. You're going back to the very beginning, back to a time when a handful of seeds was worth a kingdom. Open your eyes. The sun beats heavily on your shoulders. The year is 2500 BCE. You're walking through the vast, arid plains of the Indus Valley. The earth here is brutal and unforgiving. Rains are entirely unpredictable. Other crops wither, their weak stalks bending and snapping in the blistering heat. But look ahead. A single plant stands resilient. Its bell-shaped flowers, white, pink and pale purple, bask in the harsh golden light. This is Sesame indicum. As a farmer in ancient Harappa, you know a secret that the rest of the world is just beginning to learn. When the seed pods of this plant ripen, they shatter with a sharp, sudden pop, scattering their precious treasure to the merciless wind. You must harvest them carefully, just before they burst. You press these tiny seeds. From them flows a liquid richer than water, more stable than animal fat. Sesame oil. It does not turn rancid in the suffocating heat. It is your daily food. It is your soothing medicine. It is the flickering light in your clay lamps when the heavy, absolute night falls across the valley. Now you are a merchant. You pack these seeds into rough burlap sacks, loading them onto the weary backs of beasts of burden. You begin a perilous journey westward. You cross the jagged, towering mountains and the unforgiving, sweeping deserts of the Iranian plateau. The pale dust of the ancient road coats your skin, but the cargo you carry is far more precious than fine silk. You arrive in Mesopotamia. The year is 2000 BCE. Walk through the towering glazed gates of Babylon. The desert air is thick with the smell of roasting meats, heavy incense, and the distinct nutty aroma of toasted sesame. Here, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this seed is no longer just a humble crop. It is the foundation of a civilization. Listen to the priests chanting in the deep shadows of the great ziggurats. They tell a sacred story, meticulously etched into wet clay tablets with sharpened reed styluses. They say that long before the gods created the earth, they gathered together in the heavens and drank wine. Not wine from crushed grapes, but a divine, intoxicating wine fermented from sesame. To the Babylonians, you are trading the very nectar of creation. As you wander the crowded, deafening bazaars of Assyria, you watch desperate men trade heavy sacks of the seed for raw silver. It is heavily taxed by the kings. It is hoarded by the wealthy. In a dry land where olive trees struggle to take root, sesame oil is the undeniable lifeblood of the empire. Time shifts. The relentless winds of trade carry you further across the map. It is the 1st century CE. You're a sailor on a creaking wooden dhow, riding the violent monsoon winds across the Arabian Sea. You carry rare spices, woven textiles, and heavy clay amphorae filled to the brim with sesame oil. Ruthless pirates lurk in the jagged hidden coves of the Red Sea, hungry for your valuable cargo. The towering waves are treacherous, entirely capable of splintering your fragile vessel into floating driftwood. But the immense risk is worth the reward. You dock safely in Roman Egypt. In the bustling cosmopolitan port of Alexandria, Roman soldiers march in perfect rhythm through the stone streets. If you look inside their leather supply pouches, you will not find just salted meat or hard bread. You will find a thick, sweet paste, a heavy, dense mixture of ground sesame seeds and pure honey. It is an ancient energy ration, a block of high-calorie sustenance that prevents exhaustion and fuels these unstoppable legions as they march across vast, unforgiving continents to aggressively expand an empire's borders. The centuries turn, empires rise to magnificent heights and eventually crumble to dust, but the tiny seed endures. You are now traversing the shifting, freezing sands of the Silk Road. It is the height of the mighty Tang dynasty in China. The seed has arrived here from the distant west, carried over treacherous mountain passes by weary Sogdian merchants. The Chinese call it huma, the foreign hemp. In the warm glow of the grand imperial kitchens, master cooks discover that roasting the oil produces a deep, intoxicating fragrance. It is a brilliant, savoury flavour profile that will forever define and elevate the culinary soul of East Asia. But there is a darker, far more painful chapter in this incredible journey. The scene shifts abruptly. You are standing on the humid, tragic shores of West Africa. It is the 17th century. The brutal transatlantic slave trade is violently tearing millions of innocent souls from their beloved homelands. As captive men and women are forced into the dark, suffocating, disease-ridden hulls of wooden ships, facing an ocean of unimaginable horror, some manage to quietly braid tiny seeds into their hair. It is a desperate, heartbreaking act of survival. A small piece of their ancestral soil to carry into an unknown, terrifying hell. These are ben seeds, the exceptionally resilient African variety of sesame. You arrive in the American South. On the brutal, sweltering plantations of the Carolinas, enslaved people plant these smuggled seeds in small hidden provision gardens. In the oppressive humidity, the ben plant miraculously thrives. It provides vital nourishment, much-needed calcium, and a comforting taste of the land they were so violently stolen from. Over time, the toasted seed and its rich oil slowly seep into the local kitchens, quietly but undeniably laying the complex foundation for Southern American cuisine. The seed survives the absolute trauma of history, serving as a quiet, enduring testament to unbreakable human endurance. The vast journey from the ancient Indus Valley to the Americas is finally complete. You return to the present day. Look once again at the small, teardrop-shaped seed resting quietly on your plate. It never caused bloody global wars like nutmeg. It never spurred massive, conquering armadas like black pepper. Its historical power was much quieter, far more profound. And sesame was the seed of power because it was the ultimate seed of survival. It thrived where other plants withered and died. It provided essential light in the deep darkness of the ancient world. It fed the ambitious builders of ziggurats, the marching, conquering legions of Rome, and the resilient, unbreakable survivors of the Middle Passage. It built massive economies not through the allure of luxury, but through the undeniable weight of absolute necessity. The famous phrase, "open sesame," from the ancient sweeping tale of Ali Baba, was no mere accident of language. When the delicate sesame pod ripens, it bursts open with sudden force, revealing the hidden treasure inside. For thousands of years, humanity has relied on that very treasure to unlock its own survival and progress. From the mythic, divine wine of Babylonian gods to the bustling, interconnected global markets of today, this tiny, unassuming seed has deeply woven itself into the very fabric of human history. So, the next time you hold a simple piece of bread, take a quiet moment. Feel the immense weight of the ages. You're not just eating a seed. You're tasting the enduring resilience of the ancient world. You're consuming an epic story of merchants, empires, tragedy, and survival. And you're connected, in one simple, ordinary bite, to the very dawn of human civilization.